Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to get started on our next project. A couple of days ago I finished the Yeti project. This is the kind of bike that I've been wanting to build for a while. It is a fat tire backcountry bike, and I think it's going to do really well 4 seasons here in Colorado. I love these fat tire bikes. I know some people think they're kind of crazy, but they run really well over big rocks as well as sand, snow, all the usual stuff that people buy a fat tire bike for. So I honestly love riding them year round. So this one I'm going to build so that I can start doing some bike packing, backcountry riding, lots of overnights and that kind of thing. I'll be building this bike with the primary concern being to make it super durable and something that I don't have to worry about breaking in the backcountry where you don't have access to a lot of parts and all of that kind of thing. So if you guys have any suggestions as I go forward with this, please leave them in the comments. I'm going to start with just a basic outline of what I want to build. So anything that you suggest, I will take to heart, and we'll see if we can work that into the final design here. So this first video is going to be relatively short, but let's take a look at this bike. It is, like I said, the Norco Bigfoot 6.3. Bigfoot 6.3 is a 2016 model. So it's about 9 years old now, actually 9 years old as of tomorrow. So happy New Year's, everyone. We're heading right into 2025 tomorrow. And hopefully it's a good year for everybody. But let's take a look at this bike and I'll show you what I got. So I found this on Facebook Marketplace. The bike was listed for $150 and it is in working condition. They put some newer tires on it recently just for running around in the snow. The guy who had it did mostly snow riding, so you don't see a whole lot of scrapes or damage to this bike even though it's 9 years old. It's really pretty clean, just a few little nicks from transportation, that kind of thing. But it has the aluminum frame. It is a hardtail, a no fork suspension, so a very rigid bike. We're using a suspension seat post instead of a dropper post because I'm going to be riding this long distance and I want to have a little bit of give back here just to take some of the shock out of long days in the saddle, that kind of thing. I may also put on a suspension stem, or I may put a suspension fork on this. We'll see where this build goes. So if you guys have any preference, any ideas on that, let me know. My thinking is the manufacturers use these mechanical disc brakes because they are just very, very simple. You're going to have fewer problems probably in the backcountry. You're certainly not going to have hydraulic line issues, any sort of leaks that leave you with no brakes. You can always carry an inner cable with you and do your repairs right on the side of the trail very easily. So that's my thinking of why so many companies use those. But I will be upgrading those to hydraulics just simply because I'm going to have real heavy loads with all my packs and everything on this bike, and I'm going to need more stopping power than what these type of brakes give you. This bike came with the nice Shimano M424 pedals, which is probably a pedal that I would have chosen to put on this bike for the build anyway. Very nice. You can run either SVDs clipped in, or you can run flat, just regular shoes and just use them as flat pedals. On the front here, we're looking at 30 tooth and 22 tooth rings. The cassette is a 9-speed and we've got an 1132. 26-inch wheels with 4-inch wide tires. So whenever I purchase a bike, I always ask the seller if they've got extra parts or pieces or tools or anything that can go with the bike. And pretty often they're a little bit like I am. They've collected a bunch of stuff over the years, and or they've got takeoffs from the bike that they're selling that they don't even really remember, but they'll go dig it around for a minute and come out with some stuff. That was the case here. We've got a set of Shimano brakes, some Avid brakes, a stem, some miscellaneous rotors. These are 160 millimeters, these are 180s, and just some pieces and parts. But all of this was thrown in with the bike for $150. So the very next day on Facebook, I noticed that a guy had listed all of these parts here as new takeoffs He had converted his fat tire bike to an e-bike. He had put a Bafang motor on it, and when you do that, you take off the crankset, you take off the front derailleur because you don't need that anymore, and these are all parts. He decided at the same time he was going to go upgrade his brake systems. So these are basically all new takeoff parts from his bike, and I picked this entire set up here for $50. So we've got race face cranks, and these are for the fat tire bikes, so the spindle length is correct on them. He threw in a park tool, which he said he bought just to take this stuff off and then wasn't gonna ever use again. So now I think I've got 3 of these things. Stem, we've got SRAM shifters, derailleurs, and the level brake system. So a really nice upgrade, exactly what I wanted to upgrade this bike. So that's what we'll be using here. They're all real nice components. One thing that I like a lot about these is that pretty much any bike shop that you go to in the United States is going to have parts for these. So if I'm out on a long backcountry ride and I roll into some small town with a small bike shop, he's going to have parts to repair or fix anything that I have an issue with. These cranks are a 3622. I think that'll give me just what I'm looking for as far as top end and the ability to climb up a wall with the 22 and the big cassette that I'm going to put in back. The SRAM levels are real nice brakes. I've had these on other bikes and liked these a lot. We've also got the SRAM GX derailleurs and shifters. We are converting this bike to a 10-speed. Right now it's at a 9-speed. That's not an issue at all with the conversion. The 8, 9, 10, and 11-speed cassettes are all interchangeable on the Shimano mountain bikes. So I can convert this from a 9 to a 10-speed without having to do anything to the hub or spacing or anything funny. It's just a very straightforward swap. I've got this essentially new set of 45 North studded tires from last year. I'll remove the studs on them, but these are the 120 TPI lightweight version. So the tires are quite light, and I can probably honestly drop a couple of pounds off the bike just by installing these tires. Hey guys, I almost forgot. This morning, I went by a thrift store here in the Denver area and picked up this Lefty Cannondale. Let me know what you think about the Lefty, whether I should just part that out, make some money on it, or do a restoration on it and get it back on the trails. Again, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you on the next video.